Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go. Week 13, waiver wire ads, guys. Let's go. Let's get the likes up. Appreciate everybody being here. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. You right now, we can come to a conclusion, not a conclusion, but if you're fighting for a playoff spot or you automatically eliminated. So a lot of us got to win out with these last two games. I got a couple leagues that if I win out, I can get in the playoffs. YouTube! What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another video, guys. Actually, another live. But today's live is going to be on week 13, waiver wire ads. Let's get these championships. I said what I said. This is cutting edge content. Let's go. Let's get the likes up, fellas. Appreciate everybody being here. I see you, Caleb Hamilton. I see you, Big Will. I say Big Will in the house. I say Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. Y'all don't know nothing about that Marty Marr. Y'all don't know nothing about that Marty Marr. What's up, Sports Dog in the building? I see you, Ed Tay. I see you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My day is great. My day is great because I believe it's great. Got a lot of stuff going on. I got a lot of devilish stuff. I'm being attacked, but I love it. This is what life is about as a male. Is it still froze? Still froze, guys. Is it still froze? Let me know. Can you hear me? Is the live still froze? Okay, clear. Thank you, Ed Tay. Appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, Joe Burrow, guys, that's 40 point, 50 point. And Jamar Chase with that, that's 40 point, 50 point. So even if you see him on your waiver and you got a good quarterback, you got Drake, you got Josh Allen, pick them up and play defense. You don't want people catching up. They got a bad quarterback, really ain't that good, but they got some good players and they about to sneak in the playoffs and they pick up Joe Burrow. It could take them to the last place playoff team to a top 2 playoff team. Thank you, Sports Dog. So you have to be careful with just leaving a guy like Joe Burrow out there. Let's move on to my next quarterback. And guys, it's going to be Shedeur Sanders. I feel great against the matchup against the San Francisco 49ers. I think Shedeur Sanders can go for 250 yards and 2+ touchdowns. And that's just the floor. To me, he could have had 3 to 4 touchdowns. Good shit, Ed Tate. Keep Burrow on that team. Don't let nobody pick him up and try to stream him on you. So I love Shedeur Sanders going against the San Francisco 49ers. Could be a really big breakout game. San Francisco, they played well against the Carolina Panthers last night, but they're not a great secondary team. They don't rush the passer. One thing that you could say, and even me, I would say as a rookie, what is Shedeur Sanders' weakness is he takes sacks. That's one thing I know he needs to work on. You're never going to see a perfect quarterback coming in. Maybe a couple guys, maybe Andrew Luck threw a couple. Had a turnover problem a little bit, but other than that, he was almost perfect. Shedeur Sanders, he has a problem with taking sacks, but you got to be able to get pressure. San Francisco is the last place team as far as getting pressure since Bosa have been out. So that helps Shedeur Sanders. I think he's going to push the ball downfield to Jerry Jeudy. He has a lot of weapons. A lot of people think Cleveland is not good. I don't understand. What the hell are you watching? Was Dylan Gabriel and all that working for them to have a good offensive outing? No. But Jerry Jeudy is a top 10 type draft pick guy. That's, I'm not saying he's a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL, but he was a top 10 draft pick as a wide receiver. So Jerry Jeudy can play. David Njoku was a first round pick who's had a lot of good seasons. That's another guy. You got Tillman and Bond. Tillman and Bond is okay. Then you got Harold Fannin, who's one of the best. He's a new evolution of a Jonnu Smith. He can run the ball, and he's got good hands, and he's a better route runner than Jonnu Smith. So this team has plenty of weapons. Quinshawn, one of probably the best rookie running back in the league right now. I'm not saying I don't think he's more talented than Genty, but he's produced better than Genty this year. So this team has plenty of weapons. So I like this matchup against Shedeur Sanders. He's probably my number 1 streamable. He's probably going to be my boom player of the week. I'm gonna get a little bit cute. So if you want to go with somewhere else other than Shedeur, that's fine. But I'm gonna get a little bit cute. It ain't got nothing to do with the hair, guys. For all the people in the chat that want to troll, it ain't got nothing to do with the hair. It's got to do with the bold take. I'm going with Shadur Sanders. And if you want to put the hair on it, then put it on there, bruh. It don't matter to me. Thank you for the view. Yes, sir. So let's move on to my last quarterback that I'm going to talk about, and it's going to be C.J. Stroud. Now, listen, I'm not going to sit here and disrespect Davis Mills today. Davis Mills went 3-0. I don't care what the stat line is. He went 3-0. Great job, Davis Mills. Now it's time for C.J. Stroud to come in and throw this ball to Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, Higgins, Jaden Higgins, Xavier Hutchinson. So I'm ready for C.J. Stroud to come back, and this team is on fire. That defense is playing out of his mind. So I think it's only going to help C.J. Stroud. They did the same thing last year. They struggled, lost Tank Dell. We thought it was over, and then they get right about 3 games before the playoffs, this team started playing out of his mind and won a playoff game, and maybe should have beat Baltimore. I said what I said. So I love C.J. Stroud this weekend. He's playing against the Indianapolis Colts. Yes, sir. Okay, guys, let's move on to my running back waiver wire pickups. And the first guy is going to be the number 1 guy that I think you should go for. It's going to be Devin Neal. I don't know if Alvin Kamara is coming back. I don't know when he's coming back. So we're just going to take it week by week. So Devin Neal right now going against the Miami Dolphins. And I'm not going to say they're a dumpster diver. They're not giving up behind the dumpster necessarily, but they're not elite. So I think Devin Neal can still be good. He can catch passes. He's a good running back. And he's playing, like I said, he's playing against Miami. So I'm okay with streaming Devin Neal and playing him and probably starting him for the rest of the season if I need to. Moving on to another running back that I like is going to be Trey Benson. He's been ready to come back for the last 2 weeks, but they held it off. He's still in his window. So maybe he plays this week, and I think he's better than Bam Knight. I think he's better than Michael Carter. So I would start Trey Benson if he's active this week, going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who has had a couple bad outings on the defensive side. Thank you, Big Will. Appreciate that, bruh. You cutting up in the chat, bruh. I appreciate you. Moving on to another running back, it's going to be Kyle Managai. Guys, he's out sniping DeAndre Swift. It's happening. You know how a butterfly goes in a cocoon? The cocoon process has started. The butterflies get ready to come out, and it's going to be Kyle Managai. DeAndre Swift fumbled. Now, is it Kyle Managai going to get it all? No, but Kyle Managai is a real tough runner that falls forward with the lean. He got that lean. I said what I said. He got that lean. That's a certain attribute for a running back. When you pam, but you still fall forward. Ezekiel Elliott is one of the best to ever do it. There's other guys in the older than me that did it too. But yeah, Kyle Managai is a really good runner, and I think if you see him on the waivers, don't think this is a split backfield. It's that right now, but don't be surprised when Kyle Managai will get 80% of the snaps and DeAndre Swift just catch a couple passes, and we see the transition, and we're like, Managai is the bell cow. I think it's get ready to happen, and you can have this guy for the playoffs. So go pick out Kyle Managai, and if you want to call it a stash, you can call it a stash. But this guy needs to be picked up. If you go watch the game. Go on YouTube and look at the game and watch how they use Managai and look how they use Swift. It's later in the season, so teams are transitioning for whatever their protocol is. Because running backs usually wear down. Managai wasn't getting any carries the first. He was getting a little bit of carries the first 6 or 7 weeks, but he's really, really fresh. And Chicago is playing well too. All right, another running back is going to be Bashal Tootin. Again, this could be a stash move. And I also got to give respect to Travis Etienne. He's been solid, but I just want you to have this handcuff. I think this is one of the premium handcuffs because of Etienne history. It's not that Etienne sucked. It's not that I'm telling you to sit Etienne. But what I'm telling you to do is to have the backup plan because Etienne has enough algorithm who follow his pattern that he goes down at the end of the season. So I want you to have Bashal Tootin in case this happens. Yes, sir. I see you. Okay, so let's move on to my last running back, and it's going to be Chris Rodriguez. Now, they playing the Denver Broncos. This is the Washington Commander running back. He's beat out Ja'Cory Carson-Merritt, who wasn't playing well. Don't drop him in Dynasty. Hold on to him in Dynasty. He's going to be okay. He's got talent, right? And Jaden Daniels is coming back, and that's only going to help Chris Rodriguez. Even though Mariota probably will start this week, Rodriguez is going to be fine. So to me, guys, to give you the gas, the cutting edge content, and I'm just telling y'all, I got people that's watching my channel. So what I'm telling you is Devin Neal and Chris Rodriguez is probably some of my top pickups this week. Like I got to get to those guys. I'm willing to drop all my fab or use my number one waiver priority, depending on who you like. So I'm not going to tell you need to go and pick up Jennifer Lopez. If you like Holly Berry over J-Lo, go do you. They both are top of the line females in American culture. So that's the same thing. Do you like Devin Neal? Do you want him on the New Orleans Saints? Do you like Chris Rodriguez on the Washington Commanders? What do you want? The pick is yours. Same thing when it goes to Trey Benson, because he is starting too. So that's Margot Robbie. So you're going to have to pick in order yourself. Me, personally, what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to get Devin Neal. I like that he don't have no backups. I think Trey Benson, I think Bam Knight could come in. I think Michael Carter could come in. I'm not saying they're going to get a lot of snaps, but they could come in. He's also coming off an injury. Chris Rodriguez, I like him a lot. I think it's really close between him and Neal. I know this team wants to run the ball. Jacory still could come in there if something happened. Still going to get a couple snaps, right? So Devin Neal is the number one. Number two would be Rodriguez, and number three would be Trey Benson. Let's move on to the wide receivers. The first wide receiver I want to talk about is Terry McLaurin. This could be a stash, or this could be a guy that you can pick up and hold on for a couple weeks and see what's going to happen. But his type of pedigree has to be picked up. You don't want to leave guys out here like that, even if you have to play defense. So I like Terry McLaurin. He's probably not going to play this week. He's going against Denver. But I think next week, they're going to assess him and see if he's ready to play. And I want y'all to have him to make that decision. I don't want you to be somebody else pick him up and then you hear that he's looking good in practice and you have to play against that as a flex play. If some of these guys go to the flex play, that's going to be really good for that team, because these guys are usually running back ones and wide receiver ones. Next is going to be Quentin Johnson. Now, this is a boom bust guy. So when you playing this guy, either you're going to win the world or you're going to lose the world. Either he's going to give you 0 or he's going to give you 30. That's the way he plays the game, and that's okay. But I don't, be fine. Be okay with going to get a boom bust guy if you are supported with a strong team. You got strong running backs. You got two top 5 running backs. Then you can go and get a little saucy, a little cute, and play a Quentin Johnson. Moving on to another guy, this is Shamir DK. Now, listen, if you're not getting kick return and punt return yards and touchdowns, I don't know if I'll play him, but he's been looking decent on a trash team. Remember, this is late in the season. You have to go in the trash can to find good stuff. Everything is not going to be in a package. Just looks beautiful. So Shamir DK, if you out there and you desperate, you can get Shamir DK. We all have been, especially as a man, we all been desperate and had to make moves in the middle of the night, right? It might have not been something that you felt good about in the morning, but you had to make a move. You had to do something. And same thing when it comes to a Shamir DK. Moving on to another guy is going to be John Mechie from the New York Jets, and he's playing against the Atlanta Falcons. Now, listen, John Mechie had really good pedigree early in his career, but he caught cancer. Now, listen, most of the time we would have said if a player catches cancer, we don't want him on our team. He's not going to be able to come back and be good. But John Connor proved that wrong, and he did that 10 years ago, maybe longer than that. So with new technology, John Mechie probably getting his muscle growth is probably coming back. As long as you don't do something crazy and do the weight loss medicine, usually you can get those muscles back if you are a young person, right? And John Connor proved that. So hopefully John Mechie could get a little bit of sauce, and maybe he's the underneath target for Tyrod Taylor. I'm sorry, guys, for Tyrod Taylor. He's a good captain to have as a second crew captain. Like if something happened to the main captain, Tyrod Taylor can come in there and weather that ship and bring it back to the dock. And that's what he's doing. They might not go to the playoffs or nothing like that, but he's going to let everybody know what we got here. He's going to be able to get the ball to Garrett Wilson when he comes back. And that's another guy that I want to talk about. Go pick up Garrett Wilson. Some people might have dropped him. So if you see him out there on your waivers, go pick him up and play defense, or pick him up and see what he can do for your team. Another guy that I like is Brian Thomas. Just want to mention it. He shouldn't be out there, but if he is, pick him up, guys. Don't get a disdain for players. Let me tell you something that my dad taught me a long time ago. This is that Looker House talk, and I got to start getting some shirts called Looker House and stuff like that. But this is the Looker House talk. My dad used to tell me. So when I was like in middle school, I had a girlfriend and we got into it, and she would call me, and I'm like, don't call me. I'm talking shit. And I ain't really cussing her out, but I'm just like, don't call me. It's over. And when my dad said, hey, let me tell you something, buddy. Don't never, after a relationship is over, don't get a disdain for the woman. You never know what might happen. She might circle the block, and you might be okay wanting her to circle the block. But if you didn't talk really, really nasty, you got your mindset of she ain't nothing, then you can miss out on a situation or an opportunity. And then it comes to the same thing when it comes to fantasy football players. If you get, Brian Thomas, he made me lose, and I'm out of the playoffs, and he and then you so biased. This dude goes on to be a really good fantasy player for teams and help people win championships, and you can't even see it because you're so angry and you missed out. So that's why I want to tell you, always be open-minded to picking up a player and playing them, depending on the situation and how the player is going to play, depending on what you got to do. All right, let's move on to the tight ends. I see you, Joy. I see you, Leo. Brenton Strange. Now, a lot of you, I told you, like, hold off, let's wait and see it. Now you see that Trevor Lawrence playing the way he's playing with no Brian Thomas. We can go back to Brenton Strange like we did early in the season. You know, he was one on my 70% hit rate that I thought he would have a good season, and he was having a good season, a top 10, probably top 8 season at the tight end position before he got hurt and missed a bunch of weeks. Now he's back. That's an easy throw for Trevor Lawrence. So, you can play Brenton Strange. And guys, you got to start assessing stuff now. Data that I'm collecting, I don't want no Trevor Lawrence. Now, I told y'all I don't have a disdain, but I'm just trying to make the best of the opportunity for my team going into next year. So a guy like Trevor Lawrence, not saying he can't be a top 5 quarterback, but I'm gonna eliminate him. I'm gonna write him off, and I've wrote him off for next year. Now, if he comes out here and he gets hot and he throws for 350 yards a couple games in a row and I see something different, maybe I'll come back and revise that. But right now, we don't want no Trevor Lawrence. But that doesn't mean that we don't want Brian Thomas. That doesn't mean we don't want Travis Hunter. And it doesn't mean we don't want Brenton Strange. And it doesn't mean that we don't want Tootin. Trevor Lawrence might not be putting up big-time numbers, but these players should still get their fantasy numbers. So it seems like Brenton Strange and Trevor Lawrence has some type of chemistry of when Trevor plays, I think Brenton Strange is going to be okay because he's an easy target. A tight end is a quarterback best friend, so I think it's an easy throw for Trevor when his confidence is low. So, like I said, so we're going to start talking about players that we're writing off. That way, that's why I like CMC coming into this year, and I didn't like CMC a year before, right? And the year that he got hurt. So you have to kind of look at stuff and start saying, you know what? I'm not going to pick this player no matter what. It helps you not be able to take these trap players. It's a lot of trap players out there, especially in the second round. So you have to start assessing it now. All right, Mason Taylor from the New York Jets. Remember, I told you Tyrod Taylor. When it comes to Tyrod Taylor, I'm okay with streaming somebody off the Jets, depending on their target ratio. And Mason Taylor is really the only tight end that's getting targeted on this team. So I'm willing to play Mason Taylor if I have to. And another guy is Colston Loveland, guys. I don't know if he was dropped. I don't know what's going on. I looked on a bunch of leagues that I'm in, and it seems like he's out there. I got Brock Bowers. I got Trey McBride. So it's hard for me to pick him up, but I've been stashing him just to play defense, and I want to try to have the same mentality. So if you see Colston Loveland out on waivers, play defense. Even if you don't need a tight end. This guy get ready for the breakout. To me, this is a Ben Johnson team, and that tight end is about to have a Sam Laporta type run at the end of the season like Sam Laporta had his rookie season. Yes, sir. And I'm going to talk about a couple of DSTs. I'm pretty sure that Houston Texans is not going to be out there, but in my league, I saw the Houston Texans out there a few times. So I'm like, shit, I got to mention him. That's the #1 defense. Who knows? Sometimes people drop players or drop teams just to get to another player or another team, another DST. So I just want to mention the Houston Texans. I also want to mention the Eagles. Also, just hit me up, guys. Kind of look at your team, start looking at the playoff and stuff like that. So I'm not going to tell you one defense that you can play every single week for the rest of the year. If it was a defense, it would be Houston Texans. If it was another defense, maybe the Eagles. But I think you're going to have to play the matchups when it comes to DST. That's why I like to stash DSTs and running backs. That's what I stash. Anything else is, I don't know, maybe a wide receiver that I feel is getting ready to break out. But most of the time, I'm stashing DSTs, multiple ones. The more I can carry, the better. That way I can make a great matchup. I can play a great matchup. Okay, so let's get to some of these questions, guys. I appreciate everybody being patient. Ed Tay says, what up, TD? How is your day going? Pretty good, bruh. He says, what's some of your favorite pickup players tomorrow? So you just talking about waivers? If you're talking about waivers, that's kind of what I was saying. If you mean green bean, I don't know who's going to be green bean. But just tell me what you mean more. Give me more clarity, bruh, because I just don't want to go on a tangent, and that's not what you meant. Sports Dog says, hi, TD. Big Will said, what's up, bro? Sal says, what up? Need a flex. J-Mo, Tyler Warren, Pearsall, or Brian Thomas Jr. if he plays. Also, you still trust J-Mo? Yes. That's why I told y'all yesterday, South. I don't know if you watched the video or the live yesterday, but J-Mo is J-Mo. You know how you can date a girl, and every time you go to the grocery store, she's staying there 3 or 4 hours. She's great at home. Very good girlfriend, very nice, gives you a hug, kisses you. But you go to that grocery store, you be thinking about breaking up with her ass. But you ain't gonna do it because you're like, that's impulsive. But that's what J-Mo is. He's a great player. We know that Dan Campbell loves him, but he can give you a 0. So I'm not gonna let that 0 get me off my square. I'm gonna keep playing him. J-Mo is locked into my lineup, unless, things can change. I'm not saying I'm 100% locked in, but he's 90% locked in my lineup. I'm going to play him. The matchups are too good. The Lions got something to prove. They got something to prove. So I'm going to play J-Mo. He's just one of these players that can give you a 0 or can give you 30. That's just how he does. So I would play J-Mo in the flex over those guys. Pearsall, we need to see it. You know how I tell you, turn on the lights? Girl, let me see it. Brian Thomas Jr., I like it. It's with Trevor. We know what's going on. Brian hasn't had a good season, but I would probably play J-Mo at this point. We get ready to go into the 4th quadrant. I have to make straight decisions now. I'm not going to say do a lot of tomatoes. If it's the tomato, I'll tell you, but now I'm going to get very direct, and I'm going to pick some stuff that's going to be cringy to your stomach. So, I might say a top 30 guy is better than a top 5 guy on a certain week because we have to make those decisions for fantasy playoff ball. So I'm going with J-Mo over Brian Thomas Jr. Like the stud thing, it gets consolidated during playoff time because I have an algorithm, I have data on you, and I have enough to make a decision to sit a stud if I need to get into the playoffs. That's a difference. All the way out through the season, I'm kind of on auto. Play my stud. That way I can see what's going on. And then when I get down to fantasy playoffs time or 2 weeks to get into the playoffs, I can start sitting guys. To me, J-Mo on my team, he fits my team too good where I can support him if he does give me a 0. I've done it multiple weeks. I'm in a league where I got J-Mo because I don't got him in a lot of dynasty leagues because I got a lot of Amon-Ra in my dynasty leagues. But in my redraft leagues, I've been playing J-Mo almost every week. I won't sit him. I think I sit him 1 week. I think I sit him week 1, and I've been playing him ever since. And if I had Jahmyr Gibbs go off, and he supported J-Mo. Caleb Hamilton says, I think the live is frozen. Okay, guys, I don't know how the hell that happened. This the Wi-Fi I'm on right now is a monster Wi-Fi. So I don't know, guys. There'd be a lot of shit going on. I think the devil is trying to. The devil's a lie. That's all I'm going to say. The devil's a lie. No matter, you can't stop me. The more you come for me, the more stronger I'm going to get. Let me get something to drink. Appreciate you guys being here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get the likes up. A lot of you guys are very transactional. I be seeing they be like, TD, I love you, but until you get to my question, I'm not hitting the like button. And I be watching. So as soon as I read a comment out and I ask the question, I see the like go up. I say, yeah, I got you. I got you. But I ain't mad at you. It's that cold press carrot juice. When I'm at work, I got to drink stuff like that. I need the nutrients. Ed Tay says, I got Dak and Burrow. Yes, you got two different quarterbacks. Hold on to Burrow. Now, if you want to say, I haven't looked at enough matchup stuff yet to make a decision right now who you're going to play, but I love that you got two guys on your team. And right now, we're going to have a lot of competition because we're trying to stash guys to keep them from other guys to get to these guys, if that makes sense. Caleb Hamilton says Browns are definitely slept on. Come on now. I don't know what's going on. If Shadur would have started the whole season, this team would be a playoff team. I said what I said. Cutting edge content. I said what I said. Big Will, what's up, bruh? That's my homie right there. Faithful. He ain't missed a live this year. He's in the comment section, deleting weird comments. Bruh, I appreciate you. I ain't got no but love for you, man. I see everything. I see everything. And I'm not telling anybody else you need to do that or I'm not rocking with you, but I just see Big Will putting in the work. But anyway, he says, I'm not a Deshaun Watson fan, but it was good to see him mentoring Shadur Sanders. I didn't see that, Big Will, cutting edge content. And you know why? Because listen, that shows me that something about Deshaun. He ain't no hater. He know that, hey, what's going. Guys, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't know if it was you, Big Will, but somebody said in this chat, said that, what if Deshaun Watson has been mismanaged by Kevin Stefanski and he still has it and we don't even know? Man, when I heard that, I thought about that. I was like, damn, that could be true. Maybe Deshaun Watson doesn't suck. Maybe it's Kevin Stefanski. Look what he did to Shadur. Ever since he's been doing this thing to Shadur acting weird, it makes me rethink a lot of stuff that I thought. I thought Kevin Stefanski was a good coach. I think he is a good coach, but I think he's still human. And he has biases like we all do. But I like that Deshaun Watson did mentor him. Caleb says CJ is still in concussion protocol, but hopefully he can make his return this week. I know the concussion was bad, but I haven't seen too many 3-week concussions unless it's back-to-back. This wasn't a back-to-back concussion, so he got to play this week. And if he don't play this week, that's the first concussion that was the first of the year, and it wasn't a back-to-back concussion, and he missed 3 weeks. So I don't think he's going to miss another week, in my opinion. Jared Beeson, what's up, man? He says, so my only question is to Devin Neal is the Taysom Hill took 10 snaps at running back. Do you think that comes into play next game? Yes, it does, but you can't let that. I'm not going to get off Devin Neal just because Taysom Hill is getting 10 carries. I think Taysom is a gadget player. That's like having Debo on your team. So does Debo hurt Chris Rodriguez? Not as much as we think. We all want everybody to get all the opportunities. I don't. I've seen guys get a bunch of opportunities for nothing. I've seen Jahmyr Gibbs get 8 opportunities for a lot, right? So to me, I think Devin Neal getting the opportunity still makes me feel good about playing him to see what's going to happen. With no Alvin Kamara there. Now, if it was an Alvin Kamara and he was going to be a limited snap count, I wouldn't touch nobody. But yes, I'm willing to play Devin Neal, even if the coach came out and said, Taysom Hill will get 10 carries this game, I still would play Devin Neal. I don't think that hurts Devin. Remember, all we wanted is a goal line touchdown. And that, going to your point, Taysom Hill does come into it for the goal line. But Devin Neal also catches passes too. So I also think the coaches give him an opportunity to see what he got. But I'm not going to let Taysom Hill. I get it. What you're saying, man, it's not crazy. But I think you can overthink it. If he gets the role of Alvin Kamara, let's play him. Remember, Alvin Kamara had Taysom Hill to work against too. And if Devin Neal comes out there and he gets 8 carries and Taysom Hill gets 12, yeah, and I will come back, bro. I said, listen, you called it, but I'm willing to play it this week and take a leap of faith to see what happens when he's going to get the whole backfield to himself as far as the running back position. Great, but that's cutting edge content. That's a great statement. That's great information. Jared. Caleb says picked up Managai, Benson, and Tootin off waivers in a dynasty league. Looking forward to what the future holds for these studs. Yes, sir, bruh. Yes, sir. What's going on, Ryan? Big Will says I picked up Joe Burrow off waivers while injured, thinking about dropping Purdy. I also have Caleb Williams, who I have a gut feeling will be my ride or die for the rest of the season. And Big Will, let me ask you this. What did I tell y'all about Caleb Williams week 1? And I'm going to scroll to the bottom, bro, to see this comment. What did I tell y'all about Caleb Williams? And I have to do this. This is a pat on the back. Because this is why you should come and follow a guy that talks to himself and you can't hear him talking. Y'all say it's muted. If I knew a dude could tell me how to get to the moon inside of a car, but he might mute out, he might be live, he might be walking down the road doing a video, I don't give a damn about that. This dude is cutting edge content. This dude is intelligent. This dude knows his shit. So this is what I'm about to say. So Big Will, what did I tell everybody all year long when we kept asking about, what about Caleb? Caleb, is he suck? What did I say? And I'm going to the bottom. Yeah, he said you called it with Caleb, but what I said the fourth quadrant, right? Then I said he's going to start the third quadrant, going to the fourth quadrant. Him and Ben is going to jail, and you're going to see a different quarterback. So that's why I want y'all to know why you come here. Like, I have a really deep perspective of real football that I can translate to fantasy. Most people are very big with fantasy, and they can talk a little bit of real football. But you don't see real football players outside of Robert Turpin that's on fantasy. Okay, I forgot to lock in my so can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Thank you, Big Will. So yeah, so I'm really big on like looking at game script, and I can't remember who it was, but I seen a team called Game Script Nowhere or something. That shit was tight. But yes, you got to focus on the game script. And I know with Caleb Williams, with Ben, how he broke Jared Goff down, how great coaches like Andy Reid break players down. And I can give you plenty of examples. I've watched quarterbacks progress. I watched how Tom Brady sit behind Drew Bledsoe for 2 years. And when he got his opportunity, he balled out, and Bill Belichick went with him. But he gave him a time. You know, it was a process of how you groomed him. I seen it with Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid. He didn't start Pat right away. They already had a quarterback that was a top 8 quarterback in the NFL. He didn't have down the field numbers, but his completion percentage was number 1 in the NFL. But they still drafted a quarterback because they needed somebody who can push the ball downfield. Hello, Kevin Stefanski. Dylan Gabriel maybe can have a high completion percentage, but you're not going to win no games with a 5-yard per completion percentage. So Caleb Williams has been broken down, and he knows. So it's 3 things you got to learn as a quarterback. When you come up, I'm about to give y'all the game right now if you don't know. A lot of you do know football. So when you come up, Caleb, you got to read the defense. You got to know this, especially for the play call. This is quick game. Don't hold on to the ball. He made a mistake last week, but he corrected it because he knows how to play. He's learning how to play. But you got to come out, oh, this is quick game. That's what Shadir had to learn from a week of practice. Oh, y'all trying to blitz me. This could be a potential blitz. So I know my hot read. Said hit. Oh, they didn't blitz. So let me go back to my other read where I can sit in the pocket. And Ben Johnson broke his ass down. I've been broken down. I had to learn a lot of stuff in my life. And I had really great teachers. When it came to math, my multiplications, broke me down, gave me all the little things. And eventually I caught up and passed some of the real smart students. I was a better math student because I had a really great teacher that taught me a lot of stuff. And that's what I saw with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. All right, let's move on. Got a super chat from Mike Shamhart. He says, "G, you killing it, killing football. My 49ers got lucky win." Yeah, bro. And listen, guys, I'm gonna talk a little bit about that right now. Because I know I had Bryce Young myself. I had Xavier Leggett. I had Rico Dowdle. I told a lot of you to play Rico Dowdle. Guys, that still was the right move. Don't let the points tell you what type of move. Because you can play one player and he get one catch for 80 yards and a touchdown. And I made a great play. No, you didn't. You got lucky. Rico was out there. He was running the ball 6 yards per carry, and they going to throw an interception on the goal line. That's coaching. And he learned from that. He learned from that. Yes, Bryce, you want Bryce Young to look good, bro, but Bryce got to be broken down. He has to play through the run right now. Bryce, we're not gonna let you cook until you cook. We're gonna start off just like Pete Carroll did it to Russell. That's why we thought Russell is a good football player. Don't get it twisted. Russell might not get in the Hall of Fame, or he could get in the Hall of Fame. But the reason why Russell was good was because of Marshawn Lynch. Russell wasn't going before that second Super Bowl. That would have never happened in his first 2 years. Pete Carroll is not going to let no Russell throw it on the goal line. You don't let no Bryce Young throw it on the goal line when you need to score. This is an important game. So guys, I apologize for anybody who played any of the Carolina Panthers, but it was a good call. They weren't shutting Rico down. Ted McMillan had a long play. But Bryce still got a lot of learning, and don't give up on Bryce yet. And I'm talking about for real football. Fantasy, get rid of him if you need to. Appreciate that, Mike. All right, let me go back up, guys. Let's see here. Okay, so Kelly Williams. Okay, we did that one. Leo, what's up, Leo? Leo says, Keyshawn Butte worth a stash? Hell yeah. I'm going to tell y'all what you got to stash. And listen, there we go. I'm going to do a live. It's going to be a long live. Hopefully, I might go on my computer, on my desktop to do this one. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through every team and tell you what you need to be stashing if you have the availability. So, on the Patriots, let's do the Patriots right now, Leo. Butte, Hunter Henry, Trey, and listen, some of these players are going to be starters, but I'm just telling you, these guys got to be on the roster. Keyshawn Butte, Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, Travion Henderson. Those guys got to be on rosters. You don't want to leave these guys out. Now, if you can't get to them, don't drop good players to get to these guys. Everybody ain't meant for everybody. Every player ain't meant to be stashed for your team. Big Will said, who is your drops? Let me just go through some stuff and look. Let me see who is a drop. Who is a drop? Because it's hard to find a drop. You never know what can happen. Because we're going to talk about, like, we know some of the bench guys are drops, but those guys that we've been playing a lot. Let's see here. Okay, I'm looking at Chicago. Who's a drop on Chicago? I got to give some respect to DJ Moore, too. DJ Moore has came and been balling out. They probably not going to trade him. He's looking good for Caleb, so I got to give DJ Moore some credit, but he's not a drop. Ja'Cory Cross-Marriott is a drop. Ja'Cory Cross-Marriott is a drop. Cole Kmet is a drop. Diami Brown is a drop. Trevor Lawrence is a drop. Trevor Lawrence is a drop. Tajay Spears, Tony Pollard could be drops if you need to. I'm not telling you that they are must drops, but you can drop these guys if you need to. Cam Ward cannot handle running back. Like right now, running backs are irrelevant in the Tennessee offense. Only catching passes. Kyle Pitts can be a drop. Let me see. I wouldn't drop Nick Chubb, not yet. Isaiah Davis, the backup running back for the New York Jets, is a drop. Don't drop Saquon. He's not a drop. So that's all I can say right now. But I'm going to do a video throughout the week for drops. That's very important right now. So I got you, bro. Sports Dog says, TD, I'm worried about Drake London being used after hearing the coach speak from the coaches. Do I play him in week 13? It depends, bro. The more data we collect, the more we can make that decision. So let's wait to get about Thursday. I don't know when they play, because I know we got games Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. So let's get a little bit closer through the weekend. We'll keep visiting that, right? And we'll make that decision. But right now, I would say he's a start if he practices. But if he don't practices, that's the big thing. I don't want to start a player that don't practice, but sometimes that don't even matter. So let's just fill it out and hear what's going on. Let's keep our ear to the ground and see what happens. Joey says, TD, I need Michael Wilson to keep balling, bro. As a number 2 wide receiver, even when Marvin Harrison Jr. comes back, I think he's a wide receiver 2 for you. At least the first week I would do it and see what happens. I actually think Greg Dortch is going to be fine as the slot guy. I think Greg Dortch is he's going to be that Josh Downs type player. That's what Greg Dortch is. He's the Josh Downs. And y'all notice how many players then came through Arizona and lost their job, but Greg Dortch has been there for the last 4 or 5 years. That means he's a good player. It happens to Victor Cruz. It happened to Antonio Brown. A bunch of people was coming in and out the door, but those players stayed, and they end up being really good. And Greg Dortch is another sleeper. But I'm not saying that you should start him. But Michael Wilson, yes, I think he is a top wide receiver 3. In a wide receiver 3 league, he is a start. Jacoby Brissett can handle 2 wide receivers. OY 9212. I saw another comment later that you said. I actually agree with that. But this one, he says, get Juwan Johnson if you need Italian. I agree with that. I didn't put him on the list. He's not on none of my waivers because I'm picking him up if I see him to play defense because he's getting a lot of targets. So thank you for mentioning that. That's what I wanted y'all to do. If y'all think of a player, put it in the comment section. I can't get to everybody. I'm not going to have 15 dudes. I used to do that. I have 15 dudes for every position. Ain't nobody going to pick up those dudes. But Juwan Johnson is a dude that can be picked up. Appreciate that, OE. I'm sorry if I'm killing your name, man. Let me know how to pronounce your name if I'm killing you. Pause. Intelligente says, do you think Lamar is due for a big game? I don't know, bruh. Listen, he's hurt. I wasn't expecting him to be hurt. I didn't know he was hurt as bad, so he's hurt. So I don't got no expectation. But for me personally, I'm playing him. But y'all do what y'all see fit. If you got Joe Burrow, you want to play Joe Burrow over Lamar, that's you. Just go down with your ship. Me, I'm playing Lamar. I'm going down with the ship. So if he give me 15 points or something, I'm okay with it. He said, should it be a shootout according to Vegas? The total is 51.5 right now. Right. Okay. I'm playing him. Is he due? He's been due. He's one of the top quarterbacks, so he's been due. Mike says, G, do you like Green Bay defense versus Detroit? No, I don't. But sometimes we got to play defenses. I ain't play Houston when they had the last couple tough matchups. I didn't play them, but they still did just as well as the other defense who had a great matchup. So sometimes it doesn't matter. But in a vacuum, do I like it against Detroit? No, I do not. And Detroit is going to be at home. Right? Am I mistaken, guys? Isn't Detroit at home this week? So, no, I don't like it, but doesn't mean that it's not going to be a good play. Jose Hernandez says, how do you feel about Tyler Warren rest of the season? He's a star. You put him at tight end. Don't worry about no bad game or too bad. Y'all know what he's doing. Daniel Jones got to tighten up. So if you got him, you got him. Play him. The same thing I want to tell y'all, if you got a girlfriend at home and say she don't like cleaning up, you shouldn't leave that relationship without giving her an opportunity to correct herself. We all fall short. Don't always leave off of one speck on a person's face. Oh, look, right there. I see it. Yeah, it's over. I'm done with you. Bye. Don't be like that, right? Build somebody up, right? If you see potential in them. So, Tyler Warren is a great player. He's a great player. I said what I said. As a rookie, he's a great player. So, no, I'm not dropping no Tyler Warren. Keep playing him. Big Will says, are we dropping Kamara, Sean Tucker, and Vidal? Hold on to Vidal. Let's make sure that Omari and Hampton is playing. Let's make sure. So we hold on to Vidal. Sean Tucker, you can go ahead and drop him if you want to. Maybe you want to see if Bucky comes back, but I think this whole Tampa Bay team might be in trouble. I need to see Baker push through. I won't be shocked if Baker push through, because you know what? And I got to give Colin Cowherd credit for this. I'm not going to sit here and take this. Colin Cowherd from ESPN, no, from Fox, said this. He says that he like quarterbacks that's came out the mud. Baker had to get his shit in the mud all the way out through his college career. They put Pat Mahomes over him. I mean, he been through a lot. And Baker, they said he was sorry in the NFL, and he been through a lot. So I'm not going to be surprised when Baker come out of the mud and come in next week and start balling again. But right now, it seems a little disgusting, especially for running backs with Rashad White being there and Bucky coming back. Kamara, yes, you could drop Kamara if you want. Just make sure you have a rhyme and a reason and you okay with the rest of the season, not picking him up. So if you drop him, make sure it makes sense. Don't drop him just because, well, they say that he's not going to play no more. Like, make sure you drop him because you don't need him. I'll probably keep Tucker and Vidal, right, just in case the ones get re-injured. Right, big facts. Jay Moore says, Bill signs Brandon Cooks. You're right, and that's just a guy. I don't read that type of stuff off. What is Brandon Cooks going to do? Even if he give you one good week, what is that going to mean? Mike says, G, you think Purdy will bounce back versus Cleveland? No, I think that the Cleveland defense is better than the Carolina Panthers defense. I think Cleveland has a chance to win this game. If I was y'all, I would go bet on the money line with a little bit of money, $20, something like that, just to see what happens. I think this is going to be a bad matchup for San Francisco. You got that team. It would make the Cleveland Browns day to beat San Francisco and try to knock them down in the playoffs. Nan says he don't have it. I guess he's talking about Brock Purdy. Aaron Holloway says, what's up, TD? Neil or Bucky returning? I'm going to go with Neil, man, because I don't like what's going on in Tampa Bay. But on a regular basis, Bucky would be the guy. But let's see it first. Bucky coming off a kind of a bad shoulder injury. It was pretty bad. He missed like 5-6 weeks. Holy Express said Jamie Goose Ed was caused by Dan Cameron punishing him for his touchdown celebrations. Really? Damn. Put more in talk more about that, Holy. What did he do? Like, what celebration was it? Was it the game before? And tell me what you saw. Like, that's cutting edge content. Matt Carmody, what's up, bro? He says drop one. Pearsall, Godwin, or Butte. It's going to be Butte. It'll be Butte. Wiz says golf missed J-Mo on a deep crosser that would have been a house call. Okay. See, that type of stuff matters. You got to watch the game to know that type of stuff. Hennessy Black says drop Tootin for Chris Rodriguez. No, man. You need to get Chris Rodriguez for sure, but try to do something else. That's what I'm going to say, Hennessy. Try to do something else if you can. Like somebody else. Drop somebody else. But you don't want to drop a running back to pick up a running back. You want to drop a wide receiver or a tight end or a DST or a backup quarterback. Running backs need to be on teams. This is not a regular week. You drop them and then to ETN now. And then listen, this will be okay, but we'll be in the chat talking about TD, I dropped him and I wish I would have knew. Like, we don't want to do that. Sometimes that shit gonna happen. We can't control it, but we can control this one to a certain extent. This is Tootin that's backing up ETN, who's never played a 17-game season. So we don't want to drop Tootin. But you definitely want to get Chris Rodriguez. Big Will says you called it with Caleb. Yes, sir. Intelligente says Josevich could be the number 2. T. Higgins is out. Wide receiver row. Once again, T. Higgins left with a concussion, and the Bengals play on a short week. Big facts. Big facts. Bob says Cleveland or Ravens defense or Rams. Thanks. I'm going with it. This is tough. This is tough. I'm gonna go with Cleveland because of Myles Garrett playing out of his mind. Maybe he lines up at D tackle because Trent Williams can block him. Trent Williams is ready for it. Trent Williams is probably a top 5 offensive lineman of all time. The Ravens, I'm worried about Joe Burrow hitting Jamar Chase for 2 or 3 deep passes, and then it messes up the Ravens' DST scoring. So I'm going with Cleveland slightly over the Ravens. And who are the Rams playing, guys? Let me know who the Rams are playing, because actually I will go with the Rams. Depends on what the matchup is. I'm sorry about that. I didn't pay attention to the Rams part. Actually, I would say the Rams, but I want to know who they playing. I haven't really looked at it. I just did a lot of waiver wire stuff. I haven't looked at a lot of matchups yet. Guys, you know how tough this is? How I got to get everything in my mind, see who everybody is playing, get ready to assess it in my mind to be able to portray it to y'all. And the next thing you know is another week. So I got to compartmentalize. I have to get the waivers, concentrate straight on waivers, who you pick up, who should you get. Then I have to look at stars and sits, and then I go to the matchups, and then I have to study the matchups again for another Thursday live or something, right? So that's what my protocol is. So let me scroll down and look and see who the Rams are playing. The Rams are playing Carolina. I'm going to go with the Rams. Let's go with the Rams. Hennessy Black says, I have Juwan Johnson, and I just picked up Waller as well. About to drop Goddard. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. David says Black Tuesday. Okay, what's Black Tuesday? I ain't never heard of Black Tuesday. I could be lost. I be in my own sauce. What's Black Tuesday? What's Black Tuesday, guys? Let me scroll down. Voltron says the Lions offense has condensed around Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs in recent weeks. I don't see that changing. Actually, Voltron, that's not true. J-Mo was the guy. That last week is what you saying. But it was J-Mo and Jahmyr for the last 2 weeks, and then this week it was Amon-Ra. J-Mo had 2 20-point games before last week. So you saying you don't see the game script changing from last week? That's fair. But the weeks before that, it was J-Mo. J-Mo was a number 2, number 3 wide receiver for the last 2 weeks before this week. CK says CD and ETN for Flowers and Javonte. CD and ETN for Flowers and Javonte. Let me ask you this, CK. Why are you doing the trade? I want to know why. Like, tell me what you're doing. So, if you ain't getting CD, I don't understand why you're making a trade. Because I can understand making a trade to get a better player, even if it's like a bunch of other players in it to get an elite player. I get it. But we're not going to just be changing off players just because a couple players had a bad game and they should change around. And this player didn't do this, so I'm going to get off of him. We're not doing those type of trades. Not here on Fantasy Good Sports. If we do a trade, we're going to make it make sense for our team because we pick good players here and we go down with the ship and we understand quadrants. So I like the CD and ETN side because it's CD Lamb there. And CD is going to have a bounce back game after those drops. I like Flowers, but I'm kind of nervous about Flowers because of Lamar's injury. He's not being able to get Flowers those big plays because he's not running around and doing what he always have done for Lamar. So I'm nervous. So I wouldn't want to go off of Flowers just because I think he might break out. I believe he's a 4th quadrant player. I hope so. But if it don't happen, I won't really be surprised because Lamar is not Lamar. So I would probably just want the CD side. ETN, it doesn't matter. That's why you want to stash Tutu. Mike says, gee, you was on the Browns tight end. I should have listened, laugh aloud. I went with Chig. Yeah, I was on the Browns tight end, but hey, listen, man, we're not going to sit there and do that. You know, that's minuscule, right? I can't get them all right. You can't get them all right. We just want to have a rhyme and a reason for how we flow. And we have. Y'all know I don't sit here and just, hey, guys, you know what? Play Shadir Sanders because I like him as a player. No, I like Shadir Sanders. I've been talking about him all season. I've been saying he's really good, right? So long as we got a rhyme and a reason, man, I don't care why you played Chig. You went down with your ship. So I don't know. Shit could have had a damn 30-point game. I look at fantasy different. I just look at it's a wild, wild west out here. But what makes my teams good, I think I pick better players than all my opponents. And I hold on to my players. That's why I think I win in fantasy. And that's why I want y'all to win in fantasy. Because if you want to sit here and guess who's going to boom on a random-ass team, you're going to fall short. You may hit and win a championship doing it where you got you did a great job that year. And then another year, you might go and be in last place and lose all your games. So let's just stay with a formula, and it keeps you from being the last place team. It keeps you in the honey, right? It keeps you there where you can make decisions and you can win. So I get what you're saying. I just don't want you to be too hard on yourself. Jay Moore says Jaden Higgins or Butte for his stats. I'm going with Butte. Bob says you think should team up. Just saying, you think you should team up? Bro, let me tell you that, Bob. I tried, Bob. Now listen, I could be a person. I could say I'm hard to get along sometimes because I'm very, very. I'm big on honor. I'm big on respect, and sometimes it's obnoxious how big I am on respect. I'm just big on respect. And if I feel people are around me, if they can't elevate with me, like, yeah, TD, just let's go, man. We about to grow this channel. We about to hit. And they start like, hey, man, them vertical lives ain't hitting. Like they start like looking at shit to downplay it, not get better. You know when somebody's trying to help you to get better, but there's also a time when people they don't know nothing but to critique. I don't got time to critique. I got time to critique myself, and I got time to critique people that's with me that's trying to grow for a certain common agenda. So, man, it's been hard to find somebody, man, that's willing to work with me without, like, I don't feel like doing it today because this is a job. So, bro, I'm doing it by myself. But, yes, I do want to team up with somebody. I'm looking for more than one person. I'm looking for multiple people. But you have to have the right mentality. Not kiss my ass, because I don't want nobody kissing my ass. Not agreeing with me on everything, but you got to have respect. I'm not going to bring no hater in just because you want to get on TV and you think you better than me. Come on now. Can I get a light? Come on now. King Sirius says, Isaiah Likely is a drop. He has been nothing this season. I agree. He has the only one game with more than 17 receiving yards. I agree. Lamar Jackson has not been able to get him. Isaiah Likely is a terrible call. It ain't happened this year. Hopefully next year when Mark Andrews leaves, maybe Isaiah Likely can do something, but this year has been bad. And I think the main reason, Lamar never got in rhythm and Isaiah Likely got an injury. That's what I think. I don't think it's got nothing to do with Isaiah Likely because I will tell you, you're going to see the talent as the years come, and that's what's kind of going to validate me. But the year that I called it, I was off this year. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that one. I'm off this year. There he is. He said, what's good, bro? What's up? Bob says, Pitts makes me so angry. Yeah, man. He needs to go to a new team. Stiff says, should I use my number one waiver claim on dude behind you? You scared me for a second. I'm like, who the hell behind me? You scared me for a second there, bro. You had me scared. Yes. The reason why. Will you start him? If you can start him this week, yes. Don't make a number one waiver claim if you're not going to start him. What's your record? If you got a good record, you winning, you number one, number two seed, you might could hold off and look at your waivers. What backup has been out there that you could go make the number one waiver claim on? That's what it's about. So if Tootin is out there, you could save it. If Managai, guys that you know could go down. Sometimes, and I don't want to speak no names, but say somebody on the Colts go down, that guy's not going to be a league winner because they're not going to give none of those backup running backs the same amount of carries that they give the starting running back. So you got to look at those type of opportunities. If you see 4 or 5 guys that you know somebody could go down and this guy could be a league winner, then you will hold on. But if it's happened this week and you see that a lot of guys are stashing players, it's no running backs out there. We're not gonna worry about no fucking wide receiver. Excuse my language. We're not gonna worry about a wide receiver. Because it ain't no wide receivers out there like that. We're not worried about no Shamir DK breaking out and being a league winner. But we are worried about Devin Neal being one. We are worried about Tootin. We are worried about Chris Rodriguez. We are worried about Managai. So those are the guys that you need to be using that number 1 waiver wire for if one of the starters go down. Everybody ain't the same. It's only like 6 teams that are worth the number 1 waiver priority if the starter goes down. Darius says, what's a good pickup this week, running back and wide receiver? So Devin Neal is one. I'm going to give you my running backs off the waiver, so I'm going to let you pick. Devin Neal, Trey Benson, Cal Managai, Chris Rodriguez, and Bashal Tootin. As far as wide receivers, it's disgusting for wide receivers, but I would say John Mechie, A.D. Mitchell, John Mechie, A.D. Mitchell, this is New York Jets wide receivers. Quentin Johnston from the Los Angeles Chargers. Terry McLaurin from the Washington Commanders, but you got to hold on to him. And that's it right now as far as the wide receivers. Darius T81 says, you good, bro. Thank you. Appreciate you. Jared says, DFS talk, would you rather fill a bench spot with the Texans or Eagles than Devin Neal if you have these guys like Harvey, Benson on the bench? Both DFS gets Vegas. DFS gets Vegas in playoffs. Defenses. Okay, thank you. Defenses talk, would you rather fill a bench spot with a Texans or an Eagles than Devin Neal if you have guys like Harvey? Thank you. Now listen, guys, let me tell you something. This is cutting edge content, what he's asking. This is what he's saying here. He's trying to make his roster better. What do? He already got a good team. He already got RJ Harvey. He already got Benson. Why would he go get Devin Neal? That's what he's saying. Should he be going to get the Texans or the Eagles? Or should he go get Devin Neal when he already got backup running backs that he can put in? That's a bro, that's a killer-ass question. One of the best questions probably all year. Top 5 question for all year. Because this is what I have to struggle with when I go through my lineups. What do I do? Give me a second. Let me get that mind working. Because it depends, too. So I want you to look at your team. I probably would say I would try to get Devin Neal, but then I would try to get a defense, too. So if I got 2 spots, what's your record? It depends on your record. If you got a good record and you ready for the playoffs, you need to get the defenses. That's what's going to differentiate you, make you different. Sorry, I can't use the word right. This is what's going to make you different than the seed that you're going to play and match up with in the playoffs. It may be a DST. The Eagles might have a great matchup. They might have the Carolina Panthers, and you can beat them there and you win by 10, but your DST gave you 15. His DST gave him 6. That was the main reason. You already got some stashes like Harvey and Benson. They are ready to play. But I would want you to get Devin Neal on your team if you can. But the Texans needs to be picked up, and I would pick that Texans defense up over Devin Neal, knowing what the Texans, because I have the Texans, they got great matchups. They got Green Bay matchups 15, 16, and 17, those weeks. Those are champions. Those are the fantasy football playoffs. So you definitely got to have the Texans, and I would probably let the Eagles go if you can. Now, if that's what you're asking me, if you're just saying or, because look, you're saying or, but I would still try to get Devin Neal. Like, I want you to know Devin Neal is important. And maybe just hold on to one defense. Next week, you might make a different decision. So this could be a week-to-week decision. One week, you might have a bunch of running backs on your team. And next week, you might have 3 defenses. But it's depending on what you're going to need and how things are formulating, right? And I know this is a lot of fruit salad, bro, but the question was so damn good that I had to really think about it and without talking to you. That's why I think I would love to like to see your team and I could give you more of a direct answer. But great question, man. Great question, Jared. Michael White says, will Jacob play Thanksgiving? Who knows? Probably not. They won last week. Probably not. Branson says, hi from Sweet Home, Alabama. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Where the skies are blue. You know, Forrest Gump is my favorite movie. Forrest Gump is my favorite movie of all time. I think Tom Hanks is very underrated. He's a top 2 actor. Denzel, probably my number 1. I would probably put, damn, I just said his name. I can't think of it. Tom Hanks is number 2. Forrest Gump was better than Radio Man. Like, you know, Cuban Gooding Jr. did good with playing radio. That was a brilliant. We know Cuban is good. But Forrest Gump, guys, Forrest Gump is like my movie idol. Like, I know he's not a real character, but that was my idol. I'm not slow, but I could put myself in Forrest's shoes. He's dumb. He can't do this. But by him staying, persevering, this man was the richest man, one of the richest people in the world. Great story. King Sirius says, Chiefs signed Damian Pierce. Is he an ad? No, there's just another guy, King. Michael White says, what you think about playing Dolphins defense against the Saints off bye? I think it's not crazy. I thought about it myself. It's not crazy. It's actually cutting edge content. I think they could do fine. System. He says, nice hairline, bro. Thank you. Most people, man, you know, I can tell you ain't no hater, bro. Not because you don't probably like my style. You probably want to wear your hair like this. Like, I ain't doing my shit like this, and I didn't plan on doing my shit like this. But what happened, I just want everybody to know, this is why I didn't say, oh, I'm going through a lot, put my hair in a ponytail. This is not what happened. So I was going to get my hair done one day, and I told my barber, or my hair lady, I said, listen, I want something simple. I don't want to sit in the chair for 2 hours, 3 hours today. I want something that looks good, that I can just kind of do it and keep it moving. I just don't want to sit in the chair right now. I got a lot of shit going on. I got shit I got to do. She said, right, and she put it back, and she set it up, and I looked at it, and I'm like, fuck it. And I went with it, and I had a couple girls say, ooh, I like your hair. You sexy. And I was like, shit, I might let me wear this a little bit. So that's what happened with the style, bro. But yeah, this is my real hairline. Appreciate it. Caleb says, Diggs, Juckins, or RJ Harvey at the flex? I'm going with Juckins over Diggs and RJ. Let me think. Hold up. Yeah, I'm going with Juckins. It's going to be between Juckins and RJ, but Caleb, come back and ask me that later. If maybe we go with RJ. Maybe, but I like Juckins. Just San Francisco is not terrible against the run. They terrible against the pass, but not the run. So that made me think about it. They can stop the run, and that's probably what they're going to do. Make Shadur beat them. So maybe we can get to RJ over Juckins, but let's just say Juckins for right now, and we'll revisit it before that game comes. We keep revisiting it every day. Mike says, any given Sunday, G, we out here listening on the West Coast. Woo! Sac Kings ended the losing streak. Okay. Sacramento Kings ain't been good in a long time. They used to be good when they had Chris Webber and Mike Bibby. Darius says Baker is playing right. I know he's playing, but I don't know if I want to use him. It doesn't look good. Let me get me some water, guys. Well, not water, some juice. B. Grown says, don't bite on the Drake May hype last week. Pause. Started Hurts over him. Bro, ain't nothing wrong with that. Bro. You went down with your ship. Drake May, there's no way I'm sitting Drake May. I just don't play fantasy that way, but I would not hate on a person making a correct call. Because sometimes you just got to go and be the lone wolf and do what you do. So if that worked out for you, bro, do your thing. Thought it hurts over, and good job. Fantastic job. Three Strikes says, no questions for this live. Just saying what's up, bro. Yes, sir. King Serious says, John Mechie is the guy, not A.D. Mitchell. Well, listen, you never know, right? We want to stash guys. Oh, those guys, I'm not going to put John Mechie as an alpha. I just say I'm going to try to collect a couple wide receivers if I need to see, and who knows, right? If I got to start A.D. Mitchell and I don't have John Mechie, I will. I do think John Mechie gets more targets, but I think A.D. has boom upside. He can make big plays. So that's the only thing I'm saying. But yeah, John Mechie is the guy that I probably would trust in a full PPR with targets underneath. Tayo says trade Ibuka for Nico. I probably would because I just don't like the way Tampa Bay is looking right now. But listen, I could. And then Godwin is coming back, and then Mike Evans coming back. I don't know if I want that for Ibuka. It might be time. The party might have ended for Ibuka as far as him being elite for this season. Anytime Matt Carmody, Wandale or Christian Watson, I'm going with Christian Watson. Jay Moore says, Will Jennings get suspended? He got punched between the legs, not somebody else, right? Didn't he get punched or he punched? Okay, so Big Will said he thinks he's getting fined. Yuka Trash says, horns up, baby. Tayo says, trade Ibuka for Nico. Yes. I have the Ravens D. Should I add the Jags or Chargers? I will add the Jags. Not saying I would play them. I would play the Ravens D, but I would add the Jags. Father 3 says, is Addison a drop? No, not with the new quarterback coming in there. Let's see what happens with the new quarterback before you drop him. Joe Black says, how you trading anyone ain't trade deadline over? No, I have a league right now where this is the last week that you can trade. Actually, I got some dynasty leagues where you still can trade. Like you can trade all the way up into week 15. CK says, I was offered the trade and I'm stacked at wide receiver, okay, and need a RB. I'm worried about Pickens and ETN not good enough. Pickens? What are you worried about Pickens for? Pickens might go down as the #1 wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys this year. Not saying it's going to be for the rest of their career, but he looks like he's the #1 guy there. ETN, I get it, but he's being average. He's putting up above 12 points every week. I wouldn't be worried about him, bro. I think Pickens is a good play to have. Pickens might be one of the best wide receivers to have in fantasy, as in today. Darius says, would you start a Dunze or Troy Franklin? I would play matchups with them. I think Washington is a really good matchup for the Denver Broncos. So if you like to do that, you could play matchups. I like a Dunze a little bit in a vacuum better than Franklin, but I would try to play them on matchups. It's a lot of mouths to feed on Chicago and for Denver, but Franklin gets a lot of targets. He's leading that team in targets. So I would play matchups with those two guys. Whoever has the green bean matchup I would probably do that. And if it's all equal, I would go with a Dunze. Joe Black says Sanders had a good one game against a booty team and he's good. So, bro, let me tell you what this is, and I wish there was a scientific term for this. If a girl walks by me and I say she fine, you gonna say, bro, you gonna marry her? Who said about marrying her, bro? I can't say she look good because she's smelling good and she got nice clothes on. You gonna make me be all today. Shadur the greatest? Come on, bruh. I'm just talking about he had a good week. Like, Shadur is my man. I've been talking about him, bro. You come to the channel, you ain't looked at no videos, and you gonna try to say he's good today. Bro, that is so extreme to make a point, right? And I'm probably guilty of that too. I probably like, I get it. But I'm gonna, bro, nothing wrong. I appreciate you coming here, bro. But, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna keep it like a barbershop. We're gonna talk for real. We're gonna talk sports. We're gonna talk sports. I just like what I saw for Shadur. It's a game by game. Just like if I said Pat Mahomes, ooh, he looked good. He better than Alex Smith. Bro, I just said he looked good the last game before the last year they got rid of Alex Smith. That's all I said. He looked good. I didn't say now my prediction in the beginning of the season says Shadur was the best quarterback that I ever seen coming out of college. That's my opinion. That's what you hold me accountable for. But not because I just said I like the way he played. Booty team has nothing to do with it. You got to play and win the games that's in front of you. C.A. Jefferson says not to be that guy, but I peeped that energy early from at least one of the dudes when you. Bruh. I thought, but they said I'm crazy. Oh, I called that out. They said I'm crazy. They said I'm crashing out. I'm going through something, and that's what main reason. When they start saying I was going through something, they use what I told them to try to address me calling them out about something that happened. They said I was crazy. Let me tell you something, C.A. Jefferson. Please tell me the situation that you saw. Put it in the chat because this is from God. And I don't need that because I make my own decisions, but. Everybody's, oh, I'm crazy. I'm your friend. Da 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 da. Please tell me what situation that you saw, bruh, that told you that you one of the dudes when you tried that, right? He said not to be that guy. No, be that guy. Be that guy. King Sirius says, I think Taysom Hill will be more involved in the rushing game for however long Kamara is out. Neal is a volume-based RB3 who has RB2 upside given the soft schedule. Big facts. He broke it down to y'all better probably than I could have. You killed it right there, King. That's what he is. But I'm okay with playing that while Kamara's out. Because if Devin Neal makes a big play, Taysom Hill's carries are going to go down. So that's why if I pick up Devin Neal, I'm banking on him to show me something. If I think he's just a Bam Knight, and no attention to Bam, you're going to be very successful. You change your family history for his money and stuff. Congratulations. But if he's just a Bam Knight, and you believe he's just a Bam Knight, don't pick him up. But if you think that he could have a big play and catch a pass and do something special, Taysom Hill targets will come down. But if he's not playing well, they don't care how they use guys. They're going to keep playing and doing whatever they got to do to try to score a touchdown. But if Devin Neal shows them some promise, they will use him more. Same thing what happened with Shadur Sanders. He loved Dylan Gabriel. He said Dylan Gabriel was the starter for the rest of the season. And then Shadur went out and did what he did, and that changed. Caleb Hamlin says, I've been stashing Jaden Higgins in my Dynasty League. I don't know if he'll ever start. I don't know if I ever start him, though. I have Waddle, McConkey, Tet, J-Mo, Pearsall, and my R, I have Neighbors and Gary Wilson. No, you might not, but this is, listen, in Dynasty, I'm thinking that this is Dynasty. You stash him. You keep stashing him. You never know, man, when his number's going to be called. Roberto says, should I drop him for Blake Corum or take Bisbee? Who you talking about? Okay, hold up. I'm sorry. Who you talking about, Caleb? Let me know what player you talking about. Should you drop who? Noberto says, what's up, bro? I got Mayfield. I picked up Burrow from waivers. Who should I start rest of the season? Playoffs. That's up to you. I think Burrow has more upside, but of course we're going to be able to watch this play out. So this week, you got to know if you need boom or if you need a safe play. If you need somebody just to give you a decent output, then you start Baker and watch what Joe does. If you need boom this week to make the playoffs, you playing for your life, then Joe Burrow gives you the upside. But at least you're going to have both of them, and you're going to see what's going to happen from week to week to make your decisions. Brad Tom says, PPR trade, give Puka and Burrow. I already have Mahomes for Kenneth Walker in London. No, we're not giving up no Puka and Burrow for Kenneth Walker in London. No, I would say no to that. Matt Cummings, cheers from Ireland. Yes, sir, bro. I see you, Brad. J. Moore says, looking to drop Romeo. I have Marvin Harrison Jr., Jennings, with a week 14, but I also have Ibuka. Wide receiver should I add off waivers with high upside? A wide receiver with high upside, I would say Quentin Johnson or Terry McLaurin. If Brian Thomas is out there, that's another one. But I would say Terry McLaurin or Quentin Johnson. So yeah, you can drop Romeo all day. CK says, I like your hair, brother. Hey, thank you, man. Thank you. And hey, y'all know when it get about Tuesday, it's old. I got my hair done, Friday? I get it done every Friday. So after about 3 days, it start frizzing. I'm black. It's gonna frizz. It's gonna frizz. It's not like y'all, like the white boys where y'all can slick y'all shit back, put some water on it. Y'all good. I put water on my shit. It ain't gonna do shit. Appreciate it though. Appreciate the CK. King Sirius says, Pete fired Chip Kelly. Good job. I expected the offense to cook this year, but it's been terrible. Chip is just, he got a bunch of plays, but they ordinary. It ain't no cutting edge motion and shit. Chip had a phenomenal season coming out of Ohio State last year. That's college. That's college. College. B. Growing says, would you drop Spears for Neal? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I'm straight at running back, but New Orleans got a good playoff schedule. Yes, sir. Nipsey says, once the ladies approve, that's the move. Come on now. Once a girl said, ooh, hey, guys, so you know what? Listen, y'all know I was going through a breakup, a divorce, however you want to call it. So, you know, once I came out, guys, and shit, I wore this hairstyle. I went out a couple times. Shit, man, listen, this is no homo stuff. Dudes are coming like, what's up, bro? I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, what's up, man? I see you chilling. I was like, I'm chilling. You know, it was just different, man. It was a different vibes, man. And you know, I was enjoying the attention. That's why I don't care. Ain't nothing that y'all can say that can get me off my square. If y'all say, hey, Titty, you look like a girl. You like a girl with a beard. I do not care. As long as I can go behind the dumpster. As long as I can go behind the dumpster, I'm good. I'm good. Jay Moore says, how would you feel if we give you our entire roster and let you suggest any move to improve the team? You got to be a member to do that, bro. I would do it, but you got to be a member. I'm not going to do that unless you're a member. And that's no disrespect. That's just time. I have a business, right? And I have to make sure that I'm being fair. And I can't do everything. I got to do certain stuff depending on how much you're contributing to the channel. And that's just business, right? If you get a double cheeseburger, it's going to cost you more than some fries. That's all that is. So I will be sending out something to the members. I'm gonna say, listen, put your team in there. I'll rate your team. Like I'm gonna do it in the community. Thank you for that, Jay Moore. Yeah, man, it's like that's why I got a dollar tier, bro. That way, usually I don't want to do it for the dollar tier, but I will do it for the dollar tiers at the end of the season. Y'all have been supporting me. You come to the live, Jay Moore, all the time. James Ranger says, Baker been on the bench for me last 2 weeks. Hello, Brissett. Let's go. Yes, sir. Jared Beeson says, I'm 9-3. Team quarterback, Knicks. Wide receiver, Jamar Chase, Pickens. So you know what I said, Jared. Usually I want people to come a member before I rank before I rank your team or rate your team. But I'm going to do this real quick. James Cook, Waller. But RBs get extra for big runs and TDs. Okay. And your DST is the Eagles. I would rather have the Houston Texans over the Eagles. Team quarterback is Knicks. You only got one quarterback. Good job. You 9-3. So you're not hard up to do anything. So your team is already good. I think you need to go to get the defense, Jared. Great way to put that in there. But listen, guys, I just want everybody to know, to be fair, if you want me to rate, R-A-T-E, or rank, R-A-N-K-E-D, then you have to become a member of the channel. I'm not going to read out these long. I'm gonna do the talking for this. It's going to be long. I don't want to be reading out something and having to process it for 10 minutes. Appreciate you, though, Jared. B. Growing says, drop Cade Otton for Strange. Yes. James says, Franklin, but it's close. Yes. What's up, Kuma? What's up, bro? Ed Tay says, the waiver wire I was talking about The wavering wire. Ed Tay, I'm lost. I apologize, bro. It's my fault because I got so much going on. So if you want to, before I get out of here, put that in there, what you just said, and put the recollection of what you're trying to tell me. I apologize, bro. That's my fault. B. Growing says, I hope Sanders goes crazy rest of the season. That's all I want for Christmas. That's that Mariah Carey. All I want for Christmas. Noberto says, Garrett Wilson coming back for the playoffs. Will he be startable? Yes, sir, with Tyrod Taylor. Yes. And King Sirius says, will the 49ers release Ayuk? Probably so, after they voided his money. I'm hearing that he has been absent from numerous meetings. The meetings don't count. And the other team activities throughout the season, leading the 49ers to void their 2026 guarantee money. Big facts. Sal said, would you play Miami D against the Saints or Rams against the Carolina? I would go with the Rams against Carolina. Rams defenses, they like that. All right. Who was that earlier? He said something. I said, bro, put it back in the chat. I told him to put it back in the chat. Yeah, C.A. Jefferson. Tron says, are you trying to get with his best friend, Jaden Daniels? Right. Jay Moore said, do you trust the Saints or Bucks, DST, the fantasy playoffs? Both have all green matchups rest of the way. I don't know who playing everybody, bro, but put that question back in there as on another live. Save that. Let me do it. I'm gonna do a DST one. That way we can focus more because it's playoff time. So I'm gonna do a DST. Maybe I might do a whole DST live, and that way y'all can ask me whatever you need. But right now, I don't know if they all got green bean matchups. I'm not just gonna say a random team. Now, I've looked the couple teams that I know exactly everybody that they're playing is the Houston Texans. I saw those matchups. I saw a couple bad matchups from other teams. So I'm not gonna say anything just random. Nifty said, you worried about Lamar? He's been looking shaky. Yeah, that injury is wearing me. I'm worried about it. Only one that I feel good about is Derrick Henry. Everybody else, Zay Flowers going to get his targets, but the only guy I feel good is Derrick Henry. Caleb said, should I drop Jaden Higgins for Bigsby or Quan? Maybe Bigsby in case something happened to Saquon. It's up to you. I would probably rather have Bigsby if something happened to Saquon over Jaden Higgins. Jared says, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I know you took extra time to answer that. I will be going to grab the Texan DFS. It's all good, Jared. Caleb says, it's a dynasty league. What guy you regret drafting? That's a great question. Yeah, I would probably pick up, so hold up, Caleb. I would probably pick up Bigsby. I probably would have Bigsby. What guy do I regret drafting? That's a good one. Let me think about my teams. I drafted James Conner. I don't know if I regret it. I'm trying to think about regret because sometimes a guy if it don't work out because of like bad coaching and stuff like that, I don't regret it. But a guy that looks terrible, it happened. Who do I regret drafting? I drafted a lot of Brock Bowers. I still feel good about that. I drafted DK. I'm okay with that. J-Mo, I'm okay with that. Drake May, I'm okay with that. Lamar, I'm okay with that. Isaiah Likely, which it don't really matter. I got him really late. So I'll say Isaiah Likely. That's kind of my biggest miss this year, I would say. But you know what? I'm gonna come back to that question. Put that question in the chat again, man. That's a good question. I need to go look through my teams and see who I regret. And that's hard for me to do that because the way I do fantasy, I don't regret my moves. I don't regret anything in life. Like when I make a move, I'm always thinking, So I already thought about everything. I'm gonna go to jail if I do this. I don't regret nothing too much, not too much. Sometimes if I treat people bad that I didn't mean to, I don't play that because I don't like. That's just me. I'm a high energy person. I don't like treating people bad. I don't like disrespecting people. So, yeah. Well, I'm gonna come back to that. Let's see. I'm gonna get ready to get out of here, guys. Nifty says I'm thinking about starting Dark for the rest of the season and getting some pieces for Lamar. If that's what you want to do, bro, I don't want you to regret that next year though, going into fantasy and you don't have Lamar and he start balling out. Be careful with that. Remember, it's long term, not short term. Tron says Jaden Daniels back week 14. I also have Dart and I had to pick up Bo Nix. If I hate to drop somewhere to be used against me. My week 14 opponent has Purdy on bye. Okay. Drop Bo. Listen, I'd rather play against Bo Nix than to play against Dart. But let's watch Dart this week. I don't know if Dart's gonna be the same player with the new coaching tree. So let's see that. If Dart's that same player, then I'd rather play against Bo Nix than to play against Jaden Daniels or Dart. There you go. Alvin Kamara. I guess you can say that. That is one. That is my biggest one. Thank you. Holder, you helped me see it because I don't got nothing to look at other than my list, my waiver wire list. That is, yes. Alex says start DJ Moore, better matchup, or Alec Pierce or Aaron Jones or Gainwell. I'm going to go with Alec Pierce, but listen, that's just me. DJ Moore's been playing really well, and that team is on fire. So you could play DJ Moore. I'm going to go with Alec Pierce over Aaron Jones. Actually, Gainwell. That's I'm gonna say Gainwell for right now. We'll come back to this question as the week get closer. J Moore says Hampton should be back this week and hopefully Benson. Yes. Nifty says Dumpster Nights 2026. Yes, sir. Dumpster Nights. You think that's a video like that? Is that a series you think I should have? What are you saying, Nifty? Noberto says start Garrett Wilson if he comes back for the playoffs. Yes, sir. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is Fantasy Good Sports. Make sure you hit the like button. This is cutting edge content. Yes, sir. See y'all guys later. Peace.